Welcome to another exciting edition of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy. Today we're going to talk about a business plan that I kind of wish that I had undertaken. Now there are a lot of different ways to make money on eBay, many different ways. You can do things like drop shipping. You're not going to make a lot of money and you've got a fair amount of risk, but you also don't do that much work. Comparatively, I mean, you've got a source and all that sort of thing, but it's a whole different style of doing things. You can do what they call the replenishables, which is, where you find a source and you sell things like Keurig K-cups, let's say, and that sort of thing. One of the downsides of that is you got very low profit margins. You can do like I do, which is the long tail. Good profit margins, but you need a lot of space and things sell very slowly, and so on. I mean, there are thousands of different ways of doing things. You can be a niche, you can be a generalist, etc., etc. I've talked about that before, about being a specialist and the advantages of that. You get more money for your item. The downside, you can't go to as many places to source, versus if you're a generalist, you can probably find something everywhere, and so on. There are a lot of different ways to make money. And I've spent a lot of time with my buddy Johnny X, and we've talked about a lot of different business models because we're both trying to build a better mousetrap. I'm kind of happy with where I am right now and how the business is going, but there are also upper limits that I'm feeling. I mean, I'm making a little more money this year, as I think a lot of sellers are, but I can only list things so fast. I can only list so much, and that's the problem I have. At some point, I've got to figure out whether I'm going to accept that or whether I'm going to take the big plunge and hire employees. And that's a gigantic plunge, especially in New York State where I'm based, as there's all sorts of regulations about that. And I don't necessarily want to have employees in my house. So I would have to find a third-party location. Well, then you run into the whole question of how much extra money does it generate? And am I only generating all of this extra money in order to pay for the employee and the rental on the warehouse? Well, if you're doing that, you might as well not have the employee, because you're giving yourself a lot of headaches and a lot of risk for no extra income in your pocket at the end of the day. So there's a lot of different things to weigh. But we did find one person, and they have a phenomenal idea. Now, I would tweak it a little bit. But basically what they do, they're a specialist, and they do not have a store, and they start all of their auctions at 1 penny with free shipping. Now, they've got a small item they can sell. Basically, they sell stamps and postcards and that sort of thing. They only sell items that you can ship in an envelope. So their cost of shipping is what, 50 cents, 45 cents, whatever a forever stamp will end up running you, plus probably some sort of a protective thing in there, whether it's a little, hard case, or whether it's a small piece of cardboard or whatever. But their cost is an envelope and a forever stamp. So their shipping cost is, let's say, 50 cents total. So they do lose money if you buy one item at a penny, but odds are most people will buy multiple items. And I sat there and I looked at their situation, and they've got a few things that I would tweak and a few assumptions that I'm making. But what a brilliant idea for so many different reasons. Now, I would tweak it. I would have $3 shipping, blanket shipping on everything. Whether you win one item or you win 1,000 items, it's going to cost you $3 a ship to make that nice and easy for everything. But the reason why would be, they've got some negatives, and a lot of their negatives are for items not arriving. They've actually got 99.1%, and it's because items are not arriving. Well, if they're taking it and just mailing it, they have no proof of shipping, no proof of tracking, no proof of anything whatsoever, and they've no proof that anything was actually delivered either. So some of that could be just people ripping them off and saying, I never got this, and then leaving them in neutral or a negative on top of it all just to make the story look good. Could be that. Or it could just be things truly getting lost in the mail. I mean, who even knows, or things taking a long time to get there. And they're picking up neutrals and negatives because of that. So I would actually do a $3 shipping cost. But the beauty of their setup is they have auctions only, and I don't remember how many auctions they run in a week, say a couple of hundred, say 250 auctions. they all have them ending on Sunday, which means they must have a third-party service that they pay in order to schedule the auctions. But I want you to think about this. You're in a niche. Now, you're going to lose some money early on by doing this idea, but let's just say I'm in postcards. And, you know, early on, I'm going to be losing money. I'm going to be listing items that are going to be selling for a penny. But after a while, when people realize what you're doing and you become known for it, they're going to be coming back week after week after week because they know they can get some good deals. So you go out and you buy something like postcards, something postage stamps, something like that, where your cost of goods is very, very low. I mean, you can buy bulk postcards, you can buy bulk stamps very cheaply, especially if you know what you're doing. You can pull out some of the better stamps and, you know, then just kind of sell the common stuff. Or same thing with the postcards. You know, maybe you've got a storefront to sell them in. Maybe you've got another venue. Maybe you've got a better store that you sell the better items in. Whatever the case happens to be. But you can take them, and here it is Sunday, all your auctions end. Monday morning, you spend the entire day shipping items out. Tuesday, you ship out whatever little stragglers that people didn't pay for, and you prep that week's auctions. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you list items into your third-party lister. So say you do 70 items a day. Now you have 210 listings all set to start on Sunday. Friday or Saturday and Sunday, you can go out, you can source, you can do whatever you'd like. You've kind of got those days. Sure, occasionally you get an email. Sure, occasionally you'll get a straggler paying, whatever. But pretty much you've got it down to where you're only working 5 days and you've got a real nice schedule. One of the big problems that people like me have is you're getting paid for things all during the week, which again is a good problem to have, but you're getting paid all during the week. You're listing whenever you can. You're getting offers on things. You're answering questions, etc., etc. This person really doesn't have much of that at all. They may have to answer a question here or there about something or other that's up, but they don't have a store to worry about. And they've got 90-some% sell-through. Now, granted, some of the stuff's only selling for a penny, but they have 90-some% sell-through. It's just a great business model if you just want to move stuff out and make some money and really not have to work that. I mean, you work hard, but you're working within a set schedule. It's just a brilliant idea as I look at it. And I kind of wish that as I trip over boxes and I look around, kind of wish that I had something or other like that to do, because it would make life a lot easier. And they definitely are moving a fair amount of product. Again, if you're doing 250 auctions a week and you're doing 99% sell-through, you're selling 240, 245 items every single week. A lot of them go to the same person. I'm sure they go to the same person week after week because they know to keep coming back. And you basically don't have much left over. If you do, you can always relist it the next week. And yes, there are some items that you sell for a penny, and there are some items you sell for 24 cents. But you also sell a lot of items for $12, $15, $18, $30, etc., etc. I mean, if you've got something that's fairly valuable, you may not get the full price out of it by putting it up for auction, but because you're known and you have these weekly sales, most of the time you're not going to be selling a $25 item for a penny. I mean, you're going to at least get $10, $12, $15 for it. And if your cost into it is a penny or half a penny or something or other like that, you're making real good money on it. And again, the couple of advantages I see to this is you've got a defined schedule and you don't have a lot of clutter at the end of the week. So that's something or other as I look around my house, look over the shoulder, look over the shoulder at the stuff that just never really seems to get listed. And I can understand why it's worth leaving a couple of dollars on the table to, at the end of every week, to be able to do this and ship 95%, 98% of your things out, and you do it again the next week. So that may not work for you. It certainly doesn't work for me because I'm too far established in the path that I went. But if you're just starting out, or you're thinking of starting a new site, something other to think about. You have to be willing to let things go for less than value. But again, if you're not paying a lot on them, I would tweak it a little bit. Like I said, I would put a $3 blanket shipping on it. That way you use the eBay system, and you do have some tracking on it. So I would do that. But otherwise, I think it's a real winner of an idea as far as you're moving a lot of product out and you sell 245 auctions in a week, you're not going to be shipping to 245 different people. You're just not going to do so. And you're going to have people in there that are going to say, well, I'm paying $1.50 for this item, and I kind of want that item. And yeah, take stamps for an example. Its Scott value is only $2, and I'd have to pay $2.25. But you know something? I get it. It's out of the way. It's not going to cost me any more for shipping. And you can wind up a lot of times getting $2.25, $3, $4 out of a $2 item as well. So that is kind of the trade-off. Yeah, you do sell a $25 item for $12 or even occasionally for a penny, but a fair amount of time you get more than value out of stuff as well. So may not work for everybody, but if you're new and starting out, give that a thought. Because again, yes, I do well and Mr. Magazine does well, but he's got a giant warehouse and lots of employees and all those headaches. I've got clutter all over the place and working all the time in order to fill orders just because there's no schedule. This person has stumbled upon a schedule that really works and will really move a lot of product. So something to think about, and certainly contact us if you have different ideas you want us to take a look at, and I'll come on and we'll talk about those ideas as well, because that's kind of what I've been spending a lot of time with Johnny X. We look at various businesses and figure out whether they're making money or not, and figure out what portions of it we can add to our business in order to tweak to make us more efficient. So certainly more than willing to take a look at anybody you'd like me to take a look at, and I'll kind of come on and give you my opinion of their business model. Thank you very much, and see you next video.